Last two are obviously the worst. Your family pays the price for you having a freedom of expression, or obviously you are no longer with the world. Back to the drive. So, collected 50,000 pounds of all these different types of products. You only had a website up for a few hours, and then the Cuban government blocked it. And then in those few hours, you had 15,000 families, which could easily represent over 50,000 people.
Yeah, and some of them were able to enter later through VPNs that, by the way, now have been blocked also. And they block also Telegram.
Telegram?
Yes.
They blocked Telegram?
Yes.
Fuck. So, then...
Coño, las groserías, men.
Sorry, man. So...
Yo debo estar medio sorda.
So then, what happened next? After you had this array of people that were willing to distribute product, you had 15,000 families. What happened next?
Well, they militarized the municipio of Mariel, so the town where the port is, which is known as Mariel, is close to Pinar del Rio. They militarized the town. They used the COVID excuse to close all the ways to enter and to get out of the town.
Of course they
Into
did.
the port, and they threatened the religious leaders that were in charge of receiving the cargo, because, by the way, we didn't send the cargo as ourselves. We donate everything to a church here in the States that made a donation to another church in Cuba in order to be able to actually make the process. Because if we as a civil society organization, a Cuban civil society organization, make that donation, the Cuban regime is not going to accept it from the beginning. I mean, they are going to prevent the freight forward for doing the process. So we had to do it in that way, and even in that way, they threatened one of the religious leaders that were in charge of receiving the cargo, and they basically retained the cargo that have been retained for more than 2 months now, in the middle of a humanitarian crisis. And many of those religious leaders went out and asked publicly for the liberation of the humanitarian aid. Many of the Cuban citizens, many of those 15,000 families also did it. People in the international community also pronounced heads of some of these churches, but world heads of those churches also pronounced. And the answer of the regime have been just confiscating all the tens of thousands of pounds of food and hygiene products and medicines that the Cuban people needs. And by the way, I'm just going to make a very quick explanation. We are doing this through religious leaders and independent civil society because historically all the donations that are sent to the island and ends or lands in the hands of the Cuban regime are then sold to the Cuban people.
Oh, sold.
Sold, thank you,
Yeah,
to the
no,
Cuban
no,
people.
I'm just...
Well, they sell the humanitarian aid.
So
We cannot give it to them because they are going to sell it, and the Cuban people have no money and have no capacity to do it. But what happened to you?
Mike's gonna have a stroke.
So then they get the food and the things that people donate,
And they sell it.
and then they sell it. So this is things getting better. This is what we call getting better. This is so... it's crazy. So the
tragic.
50,000 pounds of things. Where are the 50,000 pounds?
We don't know. We suppose that the last time that we saw it was through the GPS tracker that we put in the containers that were more likely destroyed because we lost signal more than 2 months ago.
So
They were in the port of Mariel.
right. So Raul's probably eating cans of Goya right now.
Yeah, of
On a
Goya.
golden
by the
chair.
way. A lot of Goya.
On
there.
all of his baby wipes that he's probably sitting on, and then he's going to sell them to the people. It's just crazy.